The final score, Briton Ferry Llansawel 2, Wrexham 5. Wow, what a way to start the season. I mean, that was absolutely sensational, wasn't it? First game in charge of Jenny Sugarman, and wow, the signings she's brought in all shone, and overall Wrexham just looked terrific against the Briton Ferry side, who admittedly have lost a couple of key players to retirement, and also didn't have Laura Walkley, who has put out a statement on social media today to say she is still a Briton Ferry player. But despite that, they still had a lot of the players who came second last year and pushed Cardiff for the title. But this was a terrific statement of intent. I mean, if I can put it this way, afterwards quite a few people were saying, wow, what happened there? Because Wrexham are 2 down fairly early on and yet come back to win like that. But, frankly, it wasn't surprising. We gave away 2 goals, but then, apart from those goals, we looked like a side who were going to score plenty. And the fact that in the end we did so was certainly a compliment to the team in terms of their mentality, because they kept going because they recognised they just need to keep going. More than it being a side suddenly upping its game or responding to adversity, because we were very, very good. So we started off with a box midfield. Debutantes, Bartle, the new captain, who started off for 5 minutes as right-sided centre-back. I'll explain why that changed in a moment. We also, of course, had Katie Barker playing off the strikers in the box midfield, as was Mariam Mahmood, who was spectacular. Josie Smith playing on the left-hand side as a wing-back, and on the bench Hannah Snape, who would come on to very good effect. And, well, we need a bit of context here, don't we, about what happened last season at Briton Ferry. We had a horrible time, first away game of the season at Briton Ferry. It rain pouring down. The pitch didn't cope with it well. It's quite an idiosyncratic pitch, Briton Ferries. And in the first half, we just couldn't move the ball around in our own half, and we kept making mistakes and getting punished and ended up losing 3-0. Well, this time, lightning like I was going to strike twice, possibly. Certainly, the weather was striking twice. Really similar day, and that pitch was moving slowly. Also, we had another huge blow. 68 seconds into our season, Karen Allen gets the ball, and I mean, the pitch again I think plays a part. Lily Jones plays the pass back to her, but the ball isn't really moving very well. It's a very bobbly surface, and Maya Owen commits herself, goes in and goes right through Karen Allen. It's a shocker, I'm sorry, but it's a shocker, and the referee doesn't give any sort of guard. Allen is clearly hurt and is down for a good 2-3 minutes getting treatment before she has to go off. I mean, it's a bad one. It's a late tackle. It's gone straight through her ankle. I'm biased, but it's a red card. To me, it's a red card. I struggle to see it as anything else. It's very, very poor. And the referee, I have to say, doesn't have the best of games. And this is the start of that. So Erin Lovett comes on. And Paul Lovett, brought on the right-hand sides of the back three, 28 seconds after the free kick is taken and rolled to her, we are behind because of an underhit back pass by her. I have an awful lot of sympathy for her. Not easy to come on early like that at the back. And again, she looks to play the back pass to Lizzie Craven, and that the ball just doesn't roll very well on the pitch. It doesn't go as quickly as you'd expect, and as a result, Jade Crofts is able to just beat Craven to it and walk it into an empty net, and it's a horrible, horrible start for Wrexham. 5 minutes gone, 3 minutes of which have been treatment to one of our key players who then has to go off injured, and we've handed Briton Ferry a goal. And scarily, 57 seconds after the restart, it's nearly 2-0 with Lovett again looking awkward. She's on the right side of the centre-backs, and Crofts is quick. The ball's knocked over the top. Actually, Lovett, I think, does well to get there first, chasing it as it's going towards the left corner flag. But Crofts makes contact on her back with her hands. Lovett goes down. The ref doesn't give the free kick. Lovett's not the sort of player who goes down asking for fouls in those situations at all. So I think she must have been off balance. But I can, to be fair to the ref, see why he's not given this one. And lovely play by Crofts, who, realising that, well, Craven's going to be in a position to receive a back pass, recognises the opportunity to try a really opportunistic effort. And from the left-hand side, level the edge of the area, she tries an instant shot, which just grazes the top of the bar. Excellent effort. We easily could have been 2-0 down after 6 minutes. Wrexham respond intelligently to this, though. Lovett is put into the centre of the back three, and she deserves immense credit for what happens from now on, because her head could have dropped after that start, but instead she has an excellent game in the centre of the back three. Does really, really well. Bartle comes across to play as the right-sided centre-back in the three, and she's excellent. And now Crofts doesn't have that option to try and run in around the side and get around the back of the defence. So when she comes through the middle, Lovett, because there isn't that chance to try and run in behind, is excellent and defensively very positive on the front, very aggressive, and handles Crofts, who's, I said, a good player, really, really well. Now, even in the midst of all that, we are looking good. We're moving the ball around quickly, really snappy passing, and the movement is good. And when we haven't got the ball, we look very organised. We're closing Briton Ferry down really well. The box midfield allows us to make it crowded in the middle of the pitch, and we are really causing them issues. And we take control of the game. There's another controversial moment, quarter of an hour in, when Mahmoud chases the ball down on the right-hand side, cuts back in, tries to nip between two defenders. Welsh steps in, makes contact, and Mahmoud goes down. The referee doesn't give the penalty and books her for diving. Having watched it back a few times, I'm with them on the penalty. It's a clumsy challenge and there is contact. And, you know, okay, maybe, I mean, the fact that Welsh ends up on the floor because she's hit her quite hard and spun away, maybe I'm underestimating the level of contact. But it's not a dive. I mean, to book it for that is jaw-dropping. I mean, genuinely, Mahmoud cuts inside and gets collided with. And I think it's only that. I don't think it's a penalty. But a player does run into her and she falls over. So, yeah, very, very strange. So Mahmoud picks up our first yellow card of the season. We keep being on top. Suckley is winning a lot of balls into the box aerially. The movements between her and Mahmoud and Barker is impressive. Barker is picking the ball up deep, running up people and really frightening them. 20th minute, we have another chance. Lily Jones whips a great free kick into the near post area from deep. Suckley gets it really well and heads towards goal. Defenders got touched tight to her though, and it just deflects off at the defender and goes just wide for a corner. Don't think the keeper was moving for this one. I think it was a goal if the defender hadn't got the deflection on it. And then from the corner, again, there's danger. Cara Jones, whose delivery from corners was utterly magnificent. I love watching how she was delivering them, sort of swivelling and almost knocking herself off her feet. She picks out Suckley with a free header 6 yards out, which she plants on target. Great save by Young, who, good reflexes, gets her hands up high and manages to parry it, and the ball is cleared. So we're well on top. It's 1-0 down, and you think, that's okay, that's not panicked. Clearly goals are coming. We're going to be fine. But we don't maybe create enough clear-cut chances, considering how dangerous we're looking. And in the 32nd minute, we concede another goal, which, again, is rather unfortunate. It's a free kick on the left flank. Now, Wrexham aren't happy with this decision. Bartle fouls Maya Owen. No question about the foul. But Wrexham were convinced the ball had gone out and Owen had brought it back on the pitch and it should have been a throw-in. Now, the replays, because it's quite cramped up on the gantry at Briton Ferry, you can't see the line so the replays aren't able to show what happened, but I can assure you, because I was actually underneath the gantry at pitch level, looking down the line, I can assure you the linesman got it spot on. It didn't go out of play. Definitely didn't. It was on the line, but it was nowhere near crossing the line. So Owen definitely kept her in. It is correct to give the foul. And Powell is just very cute and clever. She's very good on set pieces, and she decides to try and put one just under the bar and try and give Craven a problem. She curls it, strikes it really well. Craven backpedals, gets her hands to it. She'd be frustrated she got her hands to it maybe and didn't get enough contact on it and can't stop it from going into the net. And 2-0 down. Okay, we're under pressure. We respond very well. Again, we're not really making the chances, but we're getting at them, and Briton Ferry are defending their edge of their area well. Ket White goes off, one of their centre-backs, and they have to drop Welsh back from midfield into the heart of their defence, but they continue to defend doggedly under a lot of pressure until the first minute of added time in the end of the first half, when Mahmoud scores the most fabulous debut goal. Suckley retrieves on the edge of the area, plays the ball back, in fact plays it behind Mahmoud, who has to go back and retrieve it. She's quite glad. She gets a chance to get a momentum going, so she spins on the ball about, 35, 40 yards out, runs right at the heart of the defence, beats two, just driving forwards, and then nails a fabulous hit from about 25 yards that sails over Young and into the roof of the net. Brilliant finish, and we're back in it. There's 5 added minutes, which was a bare minimum, if I'm honest with you, and that's in the first minute of added time. And you could just see the adrenaline pumping in Wrexham after this. We were going for it. In fact, ironically, the momentum was so much with us. I think if we'd been a little less pumped, we might have scored another. We were over-hitting passes and really trying to get at them. It was brilliant to see. The attitude was wonderful. But ironically, a bit of cool, sort of cold-bloodedness might have meant we took advantage of the fact that momentum was really with us. Anyway, half-time comes. We don't have to wait long until that momentum is turned into another goal. 52nd seconds into the second half, to be precise. Another fabulous delivery by Cara Jones, swept into the near post. Suckley jumps with Roberts. It definitely comes off Roberts and into the net. Ava Suckley's been credited with it, and I'm not going to argue with that. I'd rather a Wrexham player gets it. Yeah, but it was actually Roberts who made the contact. And again, such delivery from Cara Jones, whipping the ball under the bar. And the defender, not much he could do under pressure from Suckley, except try to get a head on it and just glances inside the far post. And at this point, it really looks like Briton Ferry might cave in under the terrific quality of our build-up play, the pace of our passing. We are really starting to hurt them, and now we are starting to carve out the chances. Suckley feeds the ball out wide to Cara Jones. She sprints inside at pace, beats a defender, then drills in a powerful drive. Good parry by Courtney Young to deny her. Then another effort by Jones cutting in from the right, and again testing the keeper, who once again has to go down and make a sharp save before, in the 54th minute, a goal which felt pretty inevitable finally arrives. Nat Clark has been dominant in the centre of midfield, and she does something she's been doing a lot throughout. Like I said, it was quite crowded in the middle of the pitch, and likewise when we didn't have the ball, Briton Ferry were crowding it, but our confidence in picking out teammates who were under pressure and trusting them, and the accuracy and weight of our passing was a real pleasure. We know Clark's got quality on the ball, and she was playing these sort of little straight balls into a crowd, but accurately, so the player can do something with it constantly. She does it on this occasion and picks out Mahmoud, who spins about 25 yards out. She gets crowded out. Lily Jones comes in as well. A tackle makes the ball spin to the right hand side, and Barker just nails it. First time snapshot. Great strike from 22, 23 yards out, across the keeper and into the bottom left corner. And the instant hit is a big part of this. Before Young can set herself, the ball's flying towards the bottom corner. Another brilliant debut goal. Wrexham ahead. And we keep pushing, and we keep looking like we've got more goals in us. Cara Jones whips in another corner, which is really causing problems and is actually a precursor for our fifth. Young on the line really struggles with it. just about gets enough on it to touch it away when Nat Clark looks to be coming in behind her to head it into an empty net. The ball ricochets back in. Cara Jones on the flank drills it back in, and Ridings has to make a really good interception at the near post. In fact, a comment on Lowry Ridings, who was outstanding last season for Briton Ferry at the back and was, utterly superb yesterday. I thought she did so well on so many occasions, dealing with good balls into the box. If it hadn't been for her, we would have racked up quite a lot, I think. And she went down injured a couple of times. The first time she looked finished, and her teammates were all signalling for a substitution, but she made it through to the end and then collapsed in a heap on the pitch and had to have more treatment. And it was a real warrior-like performance by her. And she kept the score down. And quite frankly, a number of very promising attacks which she did so well to deal with. Anyway, there is then, around the hour mark, a spell where Briton Ferry show a lot of grit and get themselves back into the game. It's always going to happen. They're quite a direct team. And as a result of that, there's always a possibility that they're going to knock a ball over the top for Crofts, who's strong and quick, and she'll be able to hold her up and bring them into the game. Or they can just knock a ball over the top that she can run onto and make a chance. And, they're constantly playing long balls into our half, or looking to. We do a good job stopping them at source, but a team that plays like that will have spells where they're able to get the ball into the other side's half and fight for the 50-50s, get free kicks, get restarts, and pen you in and impose their style. And they do have a good little spell like that. On the hour, a ball ricochets off Phoebe Davis and hits Lovett. The ball falls for Crofts, who's driving through the middle, and Lovett makes a fantastic tackle. Last defender on Crofts. Otherwise, she's completely clear on goal. Great work by her. And then 5 minutes later, a similar situation. Again, Crofts managed to get free. Bartle sprinting across is definitely the last defender, slides in and takes her out. Now, look, I've criticised the referee, and I will do again. Don't you worry about that. But looking at the replay, actually, I think he's got this right. I felt it was a definite sending off. She's the last defender. Crofts is right down the middle. Actually, looking at the replay, Crofts' touch isn't great and does send the ball off towards the corner of the box. So I think the way that these situations are refereed, the yellow's probably correct. Anyway, the free kick by Curl is struck well and looks like it's going to creep into the top right corner. Craven does really well this time to get across. It's similar to that second goal, but she gets two good hands to it and pulls it down. In this passage of play, there's also this period of play where Briton Ferry are looking to impose themselves. They do get the ball down the sides of our defence quite a bit, and Craven does very well in her 6-yard box. Good handling and just good dealing with situations, just to make sure that when the ball's coming across her, she's dominating that 6-yard box. And that's important too for us as we just dig in and make sure that Briton Ferry don't snatch another goal. And then we take control once more. It's a great save that denies us after Suckley does well in her own half, deep in the right-hand side, to win the ball back, lifts it down the flank. Mahmood, pace, she gives the defender about 10 yards head start and ends up 5 yards beyond her when she gets to the ball. It's fabulous. She then cuts inside. The two centre-backs converge on her. Brilliant bit of side-to-side slalom dribbling to beat both of them and then get the shot off from about 8 yards out, and Young makes a very good save, stretching to parry the ball clear. We make our first changes in the 71st minute. Bartle is limping by now. Hopefully that's just because he's not had much football to play in the pre-season. And so she comes off. Snape comes on. Smith, who's been playing on the wrong side, if you will, switches back across the right-sided wing centre-back. Snape goes at left wing back and looks very impressive. And then Rosie Hughes, who's looked very sparky in pre-season, comes on for Ava Suckley and is terrific up front from the very start. She shows great energy, and then she gets the fourth goal. Again, it's Wrexham starting off rather nicely. A lovely piece of skill by Snape to turn and feed a great ball down the flank after Lovett was very cool under pressure and squeezes a ball to her. Snape plays his pass twice brilliantly for the run of Hughes, finding her space down the left. Hughes sweeps it across to the edge of the box on the right-hand side for Mahmood. Mahmood beats a player, feeds a good ball in. Barker, about 15 yards out, hits it instantly, hits the inside of the post, ricochets back into the goalmouth, and Rosie Hughes has followed her run into the goalmouth, and she can knock it into an empty net to give us a fourth. And within a minute, we have a fifth. Cara Jones again with that wonderful delivery of hers. Sweeps it in. Young doesn't deal with it. It's a strange one, actually. She thrusts one hand up at it under the bar, pushes it up and behind her, and it's dropping in front of an open net. Nat Clark gets there first in the crowd and gleefully smashes it up into the roof of the net and marks an excellent performance with a goal. And we're 5-2 up. Abby Inden comes on with 5 minutes left to give Mahmood a rest. And there's one more instance of interest. First minute of added time. A nice move as well. Snape with a Cruyff turn beats their opponent. Feeds it inside. Lily Jones keeps it moving out quickly to Cara Jones. She whips a lovely cross in to the far post, 6 yards out. Rosie Hughes, great downward header. 6-2, or so we think. Flag goes up for offside against Hughes. I've got to say, looking at the replay, I don't think it's correct. I'm afraid. Sorry, Rosie. I think that's a goal. She looks onside to me. There's centre-back in the middle. It's hard to judge, but just looking at the markings on the pitch, she looks closer to the goal when you see where the penalty spot is than Hughes is. So I think that's a bit unlucky. I think we got a sixth there. Yeah. And I have to just say with the referee, I mean, Briton Ferry are a very physical team. And a lot of the time, the referee is very lenient on some players. I mean, Mahmoud, very obviously, as well as Alan, get a real kicking. Mahmoud's a good, skillful, technical ball player. She gets, for punishment for dwelling on the ball is that she takes a lot of blows. But to be fair to her, it doesn't stop her from doing it again and again, next time, and she caused all sorts of problems. A magnificent performance, loads of great individual performances as well, and I've got to say the collective performance wasn't just on the pitch. The Wrexham fans, I no exaggeration, I have never heard an atmosphere like that at an Adran Premier game. They've come down 3.5 hours to Briton Ferry, the old Wrexham Ultras, and my word, they were superb. The noise that they made was fantastic. The singing, you don't hear that much singing in Adran Premier. Or when you do, it tends to be isolated individuals and you recognise them the next time. Wow, they were a fantastic band of support. The players we know really appreciate them. But boy, oh boy, did they get behind them as well. And that was just added to a highly enjoyable afternoon out. With the final score of Briton Ferry 2, Wrexham 5, I'm Mark Griffiths for Wrexham AFC.